Good evening, everybody. This is setting up a Dudamobile mobile-friendly website for Toastmasters clubs. We will also be talking about other mobile-friendly options for Toastmasters clubs. This webinar is being recorded, and it will be available on the District 53 Toastmasters website in a few days. My name is Heather Turner, and I will be leading the discussion today. If someone has any questions, over the box to the right-hand side, I would encourage people to ask questions as they have them, and I will address them at the end of the webinar. So I am now going to start talking about mobile-friendly websites. Now, why are these important? When someone is searching online for information on a desktop, for example, they may find our club websites, but when they're searching on mobile, and I'll use Cromwell Community Toastmasters as an example, their current website, which is actually now a mobile site because I just set it up, leads them to this image on the right-hand side. And this is not user-friendly from a mobile perspective. This is a snapshot from an iPhone 5 phone. And if you think of it from searching for something on a mobile site, this is not user-friendly because someone has to scroll over to see information, so they need to scroll to the right, they need to scroll up and down, and it's not one-stop shopping for information, for example. And many people will click away when clicking on mobile. Free Toast 2 websites have the ability to have contact forms so people can send a submission through that. And just to put this into perspective, about a month ago I set up a mobile-friendly Dudamobile site on our Enfield Toastmasters site, and I've already gotten 6 requests from it. In the year that I've been in charge of our Enfield Toastmasters website, I've gotten 2 requests in the whole year from our desktop-based websites, and 6 in a month from the mobile-friendly one. So that's kind of something to think about, because more and more people are looking for things on mobile sites, so it's important to have a mobile presence online. Now, Dudamobile is one of my favorite. There are some other alternatives, and I'll be going over those at the end of the webinar. This is the landing page, and there'll be a screen up here that says sign in. And once you sign in, you'll come up with this, and you want create a mobile website. And then it will give you this screen, convert an existing website or create with a Duda template. This is something that you can really be creative with a little bit, and you can pick either option. If you don't like the final result, you can delete it and you can actually go back and recreate it again. The one on the right that says create with a Duda template, and then it pulls your business Facebook page information, and I've tried this several times on businesses and on Toastmasters site, and to be honest with you, the look that it gives you is not that great, and you still have to go in and do an awful lot of editing. Now, converting an existing website URL is your best bet. It does pull in information that you're still going to have to change. JavaScript errors is one of them. It's going to pull in information from all of the different pages that you'll have to go in and edit and delete, including any pictures. But by far the more user-friendly one is using the convert the existing website URL. Now, if you do pick the one on the right, it's going to give you a selection of templates to look through. There's several down at the bottom of this page that have just plain blocks instead of actually having looks to it, and then you can customize it later. This is actually an example of left. If you hit convert an existing website into a Dudamobile friendly site, it's going to take much of your content and any imagery that you have in and automatically draw it into this. So this will be step 1, and then you can pick different layouts. And again, don't be afraid of this format and this interface. If you make a selection and then you don't like it, you do have the opportunity to go in and delete it and then recreate it and play with it and change it as many times as you like. And it also has different colors you can select, and you can really customize this a bit. So this is 2, so edit your website. So you can edit header and logo, the navigation menu. If you have content in there that is drawn in from the current site, you can actually take that out. So it's a very, very customizable format. I personally think, and I've created and used most of the other templates and accounts that the other mobile-friendly sites have used already or have developed already. And this, I think, by far is probably the most user-friendly. Now, Dudamobile has two different formats that you can sign up for. One is a free site, which is primarily probably what most Toastmasters would want to sign up as. It does have ads in it. They're very, very small at the top and bottom of your mobile site. It's about $10 a month if you want to sign up for the paid version. Realistically, because we are a nonprofit and most clubs don't have the funding to do that, and I don't necessarily know for a fact whether that's going to bring in members consistently for a club, I wouldn't recommend paying for it. I would stick with the free version of this. But again, this is very, very customizable. And once you've converted this, and it'll tell you which site you've converted it from, you can go through, these are your navigation pages, for example. You can add new pages. The only thing that you have to remember is once you've made a change in this, make sure and save it. That's important because if you go off to something else, and I found this quite often in Dudamobile, it won't necessarily prompt you to say, hey, you've made a change to this. Do you want to save this? Now, all of the things in a Dudamobile site are very customizable and very clickable. So all of these things, if you want to upload new images, so say you had photos on your website or photos that were not yet on your website or you didn't want on the Free Toast Toast website, for example, but they would look great in a mobile format, you can add those specifically to the mobile site itself. And then you can resize those and align them left or right. And this is back to that main page again. And so I took out in this particular screenshot the big image in there, and I'll go back for a second. And the reason being, if this is your mobile friendly site, you don't see navigation links in here. So here's the Toastmasters logo, here's the photo, but someone might land on this on a mobile phone and go, oh, that's interesting, what else is there? And they may not necessarily scroll down. So it's important to pick out which particular imagery that you want in your headers and make sure that you're consistent across your pages. I think personally photos would be great, but for this particular example, I use the Toastmasters International logo. So as you can see, these are some links that are mobile friendly that we've set up as internal pages on the mobile friendly site. And when you go to Edit Site, which is number 2, and again, once you've customized things, you go to Select Layout, Edit Site, Go Live, you can always hit the back button. And that's important because it just means that if you make a mistake, if you don't like how things look, you can go back and edit those again. And once these add content right here, means that all these things, not the premium ones, those are ones that you'd be paying for, but images, sliders, photo galleries, text, if you had particular text that you wanted to add in a particular place, contact forms, which is very, very important, all you would do is hit that and actually drag it over into this particular page. And all of this, I'll go back to this for a second. All of these things are clickable. Your best bet if you want to use a Dudamobile site is just to go in and click in things because all of these things are clickable. Every single image and every single example of these things, if I clicked on this, it would edit into this, for example. Now the contact form, I would really recommend that you add that into your free version, because it'll bring in contact us, name, email, a message that you set particularly, and then email settings will bring in whoever email that you want to go to this particular submission form for the contact form. Now this is an example of, just to see the difference, this is District 53 that I put in the Facebook page to see what content that it drew in. And all it drew in was the header from the Facebook page and the content from the About section. So you'd actually have to do a lot more customization to that particular format. Now, once you've gotten to the number 3 go live, it's going to give you pick your package. So you want the basic mobile website, which is free, and then you hit continue. And this is the important part. So here's your mobile URL, and realistically, you're not going to do anything with this. You're probably not going to give this out to anybody because it's going to be people searching on mobile devices and finding your website. So you're going to make sure that you click on Set up my mobile website redirect, and then it's going to take this little snippet of code. So what you do is you'll copy this, and I would recommend, selecting this, copying it into Microsoft Word, copying it into Notepad, or just making sure that that screen on your computer stays open while you go over to your FreeToast Host 2 website. Now, once you've gone to your FreeToast Host 2 website, you're going to launch your administrative console, and then you're going to go to your home page. Now, Dudamobile asks that you implement this code into each of your website pages that you have on your FreeToast Host 2 site. I honestly don't know whether this is necessary or not. When you Google FreeToast Host 2 sites, primarily only the home page comes up and seems to be spidered by Google. So I don't know if it's necessarily necessary to edit all this code and add this code to all the sites or not, but I would recommend trying to do it. But if nothing else, I would go to the home page. And once you're into the home page, this is what the back end of FreeToast Host 2 looks like. You want to click on this little icon and this little box here that says source. This will bring you into your HTML code. And once you've clicked on that, you'll take that little snippet of HTML code and you'll put it in the very, very first thing before any of the other text and before any of the other code that shows up. I make sure when I'm editing a FreeToast Host 2 site that you make sure that you save this at least 3 times before you close it, because it doesn't always take. And I found this, sometimes you'll save something, you'll edit something, and if you don't hit save several times, you have to go back in again and edit this multiple times. So just make sure that you save it a couple of times and then go to a mobile phone. Look at your website on the mobile phone beforehand, look at it after you've inserted this code, and see whether it's actually taken or not. Now, this is an example of Enfield Toastmasters. They're actually a desktop-based website, and this is an example of the mobile-friendly website through Dudamobile. And as you can see, this is obviously a very enlarged version of this, but this is what the little ad looks like. Now I'm going to go through very briefly some of the other alternatives for that, and then if anybody has any questions, I will answer them. Now, I'll go through quickly just to give you an example of what's clickable and what's not. This is the back end of a Dudamobile site. So if you click on navigation menu, for example, all of these things, I'll click on Contact Us. So you can change the name of it. You can change the icons, you can change the color. This little icon right here means that that page will actually be taken out of your navigation. If you click on this link right here, it'll give you a different selection. You want to connect it to, maybe you wanted to connect it to District 53 Toastmasters. Connect it to existing page. If you didn't have an existing page set up already and you wanted to create a new one, you would just hit Create New Page. Some of these features, like click to call, are the premium option, so it will not give you availability for that. Now, some of the other websites that are out there in terms of what you can use if you don't decide to use Dudamobile or you don't like the looks of it, most of these do have ads that show up in the advertising. I don't consider them intrusive, and from the perspective of we're really looking for people to come to our club sites and to our club meetings, having a little bit of advertising for the cost of it being free, I think is a very small price to pay. Now this one is imcreator.com. This one is fairly user-friendly. It's also free. This is zoho.com. They also have mobile sites. Josee, it's JOSEE.com, is also a good site for doing mobile-friendly sites. They have free versions and paid versions as well. And then ActiveMobi.com is also a good alternative for this. If somebody asked me which specifically alternative mobile site I would say after after Dudamobile, I would probably say the Zoho sites were the most user-friendly. And that's pretty much it in terms of this. This is kind of a short and sweet overview of setting up your website on a mobile-friendly device so that more people can find your club when they're looking for it online. And just if you think about it, more and more people are searching mobile specifically for things. So if somebody was searching, I'm looking for public speaking help in Springfield, for example, and you have a mobile-friendly site, you're more likely to capture their attention if you can have, when your club meets, front and center right off, the time, the date, the directions, versus them having to possibly wait and even remember to do this on a full desktop version. So you're better off capturing them. Now, does this affect your rankings online? It does, but not in regular Google search. Having a mobile-friendly site does affect our search engine rankings when people are searching on mobile devices. So if you don't have a mobile site set up for your FreeToast Host 2 site, for example, your FreeToast Host club website is actually going to rank lower and rank behind other sites, although I don't think that Toastmasters itself has much competition online, but you never know. But other sites will come up higher in search. So for example, if you had 5 Toastmasters sites within 20 miles of each other, and 2 of the websites were mobile friendly and the other 3 were not, when someone was searching on mobile, Google and the other search engines would give those 2 sites that were mobile friendly ranking priority over the 3 that were not. I mean, there is talks that if eventually you have a site that is not mobile friendly at all, it won't even show up in the mobile search results. But I think that's a long way off, and there's still a lot of changes going on in mobile. Now, does anybody have any questions? Okay, yeah, we have a couple of questions about, can we specify the colors in the Dudamobile site to match branding for Toastmasters International? That's a good question. In the back end of Dudamobile, it does give you some customization in terms of background and text. It doesn't specifically give you well, actually, it does specifically give you the RGB colors. So when you're on Toastmasters International, I believe there's a style guide, and you can find out which particular colors. So if you go in and you really want to get crazy with this, you can go in and specify which particular colors you have, so you have an exact color match with this. Again, and don't forget to hit done, and then forget to hit done or save. Okay, is there any other questions for this? Thank you for presenting this. I know that I found my Toastmasters club while searching on the web, and I was on mobile, and I was very frustrated that they didn't have a mobile-friendly site. It was hard to find the content. Okay, well, I hope that you guys set up a mobile-friendly site soon. And let's see, we've got one more question coming in. Do you know why Toastmasters International has a mobile-friendly site and we don't? Well, I guess the reality of it is Toastmasters International has a website that's mobile-friendly because they've had probably somebody that they paid quite a lot of money to custom design their fairly new site and make sure that it was compatible with mobile devices. The lovely people that run FreeToast Host 2 are all volunteers, and I don't think that's top of their priority list. Okay, and we have another question. Does Toastmasters International know specifically about why people are not finding things on mobile and not finding our clubs? You know what, that's a good question. I don't know a specific answer to that. I do know that I called Toastmasters International about a month ago and brought it up to them, and their reply was they're really leaving it up to the clubs and the districts to educate their clubs about what is mobile friendly, what's not, what are alternatives, they're not connected with the organizers and the creators of Free Toast Toast 2 in any way. So they don't really have any sway over whether they can tell these volunteers, who thankfully are doing all this great work for us, hey, you guys need to make our sites mobile friendly for us. So we as clubs need to circle back and do that work ourselves. Okay, and I've got one more question. How long does it take from start to finish to set up a mobile friendly website using Dudamobile? I would say if you want to get quick down and dirty, less than 10 minutes. If you really want to spend the time customizing the site, then go in, customize it all you want. If you don't like the look and feel of it, you can start over, but you can always go back and recreate this. You can always go back and change things. I know that a related business to Toastmasters is a public speaking lady that I work with. She went in and she spent about half an hour because she kept double checking, what it looked on her desktop when she was creating something and what it looked like on her actual mobile device. So she went back and forth in terms of, going into Dudamobile, tweaking things a little bit, changing the fonts, changing the colors, changing the settings, changing spacings, adding more photos into it, and then going back and looking on her mobile phone to see what her site looked like to make sure that it was customized specifically to how she wanted it to. So realistically, I would say about 10 or 15 minutes. You can't break this. If you click on something, there's nothing really in here you can't do that you can undo, or you can do and not. That doesn't make any sense. But you can't do that you can't undo it, or vice versa. So just go in and click on things, see what all the things do or don't do. If you have any problems with anything, you get stuck on things, please let me know. Again, this is Heather Turner. I am the social media chair for District 53. If anybody has any questions after the fact, please feel free to email me. I would be more than happy to help your club out or help you out with any other online marketing things that you're looking for. So that concludes our presentation for tonight, and thank you for attending and have a great evening.